Morning, y'all. This is Florida Tight Lines fishing, and you can see I'm out here on my kayak, out here on the Chas. We call it the Chas. The locals call it the Chas, the Chassahowitzka River. It's in the middle of Florida, just above Tampa, above Weeki Wachee there. It's a great place to come. You can see the water is really super clear today, and looking really good. Great day for fishing. It'll be 82 later on today. Not bad for the 11th of February here in Florida. But that's Florida fishing for you. I'm at a place that I know really well. Hopefully I can beat the skunk today. I'm gonna try for largemouth bass. There's snook up in here, but they got a bad case of lockjaw. So we'll see what we can do. I'm throwing a chili pepper worm here at the Chas, kind of a red and green sparkly kind of worm. See if I can't catch me a largemouth bass. See, here's what I'm using. I got a little bit of a weighted worm. Got the old, they call it a Florida rig. I don't know if you can. The weight rattles. Get it in camera there. Just a regular 4/0 hook and this worm. Throwing on a 6.5 foot medium action Shakespeare ugly stick with a Bass Pro Shop bait casting reel. The weight on the worm helps me to give it a little action and helps it carry out, because if you can see, this water is super clear. On my Jackson, I got my Jackson Cuda 12 kayak. It's a stand-up kayak. It's kind of built. It's built to cut through the water pretty well, and it does a really good job. I really like this kayak. My lovely wife bought this for me. Really a good kayak. As you can see, a lot of good features. Maybe I'll do a video on it. There's 100,000 videos about everybody's kayak on YouTube. I know I want to flood the market with another video about a kayak, but that's what I use. I really enjoy it. It's got a 2-position, well actually 3-position seat. It does really well. Like I said, you see me there just now standing up. So we're gonna fish our way out of this little creek. We call it Crab Creek. We're gonna fish our way out of this creek, and a little easier on a kayak to go with the flow. I guess that's kind of the whole thing. Just kind of go with the flow. Kind of let the river kind of take you. Sure is cheap on gas, I'll tell you that much. And you hear, I don't know if you hear that or not. The old red-tailed hawks decided to get up this morning. A couple of them calling out there. I'm sure you can hear that off in the distance. Well, there's one. Switch things up a little bit. He's just a small guy, of course, but thanks for the bite, little guy. Bit on this little swim bait. These are little mangrove snapper. Up, like I was saying, come on, let go. Just tear up your bait if you're not careful. I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyways, he doesn't like letting go. There he goes. See him? That's why I call him snapper. Them old fangs in there too. Well, here's that one. Over here in this spring. He had to have it too. pliers out for you, buddy. Give me just a second. There we go. Yeah, little pounder. He's a keeper, but you know, I'm not gonna keep bass. And pop that out for him. Look at that. Good looking fish. Good looking fish. Thanks for the bite there, buddy. So yeah, just sitting up here in the spring here. Don't really catch fish. I don't fish springs like this. They're fish hold up in here, and you know, you would think there would be a lot of bait moving because of the water. And I seen a snook, and I know a snook's not going to bite on this. This seems to be a and I changed up a little bit. Let me go over that real quick. So I tied straight on with a bullet weight, and I'm just letting the bullet weight. It's kind of a makeshift Carolina rig in a way. It does the same, except the bullet weight is free floating, and this worm is, your guess is as good as mine on what the color, what it's called, what the technical term. Obviously, it's a culprit, and it's just something that the clearer worms seem to work better up here, and almost when he hit it, just dropped it, you know, off the edge of the spring. You see, you guys can see that there's the spring. There's one of them, and the tide's gone out, going out, and I seen a snook sitting on the edge over there, and so I thought, well, you know, knowing he more than likely wouldn't bite, but he ain't bit on anything else, so I just thought maybe for sure that he would, you know, maybe he would bite on it. You never know. And threw off in there, and sure enough, Mr. Bass got it. Good largemouth. That's typical quality size here. You've seen the coloration of it. The bass is a good looking bass. Good fish. Good times. Right here in the springs. I'm up in Baird Creek. Like I said, the map on FishBrain shows it as Baird Creek, and so does Google Maps, and I'm pretty sure that's probably what they go off of. But anyways, it's you know, it's up here. We call it Crab Creek. Everybody knows it as Crab Creek. But anyways, I'm gonna try for another one. See what we got here. I'm gonna, you know, what works. You know, life gives you lemons. You try to make lemonade, and I got enough water here, so let me see if I can't pick out a couple more of these lemons. Again, changing things up a little bit, just with the color. This is that chili pepper worm. It's a culprit, of course, and you see I'm using the weight, and this is actually a 4-aught hook as well. But we're gonna let this one go. Good guy. Thanks for the bite, big guy. Oh, make more little ones. See ya. So what I did on that, with that last bass, I sight fished him out of this spring here. I seen him going down into the spring from the edge, and just sight fished him in, and it paid off. I enjoy sight fishing. I'm usually pretty good at it. Today's been one of those days where you have to be able to adapt with the surroundings. Again, I've never fished in the springs like this, you know, casting over the spring and fishing specifically in the spring where the fish are. But, you know, that's what I said, that's where the fish are. You know, it's kind of weird because even though those two fish, those last two bass, attacked this worm, you know, just blind casting is not working back here for some reason, for whatever reason. it seems that the fish aren't going to ambush. They're more of a reactionary strike. They're not laying in wait, ambushing bait. Both these fish, like I said, I sight fished them. Both these fish that I caught up in here were moving. They weren't setting. I have seen fish been setting, and fish as in bass. I've seen bass that just setting there, and when you throw over into that, they would leave. They would immediately just get out of there. It's like they just didn't want what I was throwing. The last these last two bass that I caught, again, were moving, and they weren't in the ambush. They were, I dropped it right in front of him. It looked good to him, and he took off with it. Just seems like it's just different how the wintertime bite is, and that's kind of what I'm experiencing right here. I'm just like yesterday, I'm just glad I didn't get skunked today. I caught two decent sized keepers. They're okay. They're not, they're not pounders, but lunkers or anything like that. They're for sure not my PBs. But they are quality fish, and they're fun to, that's what we come fishing for, is that fun bite, and they were fun to reel in. They were fun to catch, and they fought really well, once I could get them on. But it seems like today the bite is more of reactionary than it is the ambush style. So, it's just changing things up, and that's been one of my struggles as an angler, as a fisherman, is changing up, knowing what to change into, what kind of like what the situation calls for. And one of my hardest parts of that was changing changing baits for the bite. And then I've always been a strong sight fisher. I love sight fishing. One of the reasons I got this Jackson Kayak. And because I could stand up and sight fish. Now right now I'm honing in on a snook. Yeah, I'm worm fishing a snook. Go figure. But he did stop and look at my bait, which is the first time today that any snook has stopped fishing and videoing, and just giving you guys a look, maybe a different look. Nobody's videoed up here before. I just had one miss it. I just had one boil at this worm. I don't know if you guys could see that. So like I said, I'm just trying to learn the ropes as a YouTuber. I'm by far no professional. But like I said, I don't think anybody films up here. And this is a great place. Probably shouldn't film up here. You guys are coming up here and getting in on the game. But, if you can enjoy watching a film at home or whatever, or watching one of these videos I put together,